Season 5. A season that raised the stakes, but also wrecked my favorite ship, Adrienette. Am I too old to care about the love story between two 14-year-olds? Probably. Do I care? Not even a little. So Adrienette happened, and like everyone else, I was super excited to finally see some action between these two dorks. But by the episode Determination, I realized something was off. Adrien started simping hard for Marinette because he finally noticed her caring nature and her knack for finding solutions. Traits he already loved in Ladybug. It makes sense that he'd eventually fall for Marinette if her Ladybug traits seeped through, right? That seems reasonable, so we shouldn't have an issue with this, right? So what made me suddenly hate this ship? They are a terrible couple. Funny, huh? I even made a video about why they were my favorite ship, and one of my main points was the fact that I loved the slow burn and the chase. Basically, I liked the fact that Adrienette was never gonna happen. I didn't realize though that when the chase ended and they finally became a couple, that they would have the chemistry of two chat bots. Before they started dating, there was hardly any meaningful development between them. Most of their reactions were just confusion because of their poor communication skills. They had one decent conversation and suddenly Adrien becomes Mary Boo's #1 fan? What? Adrienette is no longer a good ship because of their one-dimensional relationship. No one in real life is that perfect. The charm of a close bond is watching two people handle their emotions and tackle life's struggles together. And I know Marinette had her anxieties in the beginning of the relationship. I know there was some conflict there. But Adrien's reactions to Marinette, they were so unrealistic. It's like he was a robot. And Marinette, oh my god, I want to die. Anyways, the one thing I liked about season 5 was the finale. Yes, it sucked that Adrien played such a small role in this plot, but at least it hinted at a new conflict between Marinette and Adrien. A conflict they desperately need to actually have a meaningful relationship. Our girl Marinette now bears the secret that her boyfriend is a sentimonster, and the real reason behind his father's death. These revelations will come to light eventually, and maybe then we'll finally see if there's a living person behind those empty green eyes. Adrien, please, show me there's a soul in there. Blink twice if you need help. Did somebody do this to you? Did they curse you? Speaking of Adrien, he was never a particularly interesting character in past seasons, but he didn't seem like that much of a clueless idiot either. Okay, maybe he did, but at least he had something going on. It's like the show tried to force him into that damsel in distress role, and making Marinette the knight in shining armor made Adrien just become a princess waiting to be saved, never taking initiative in the story, not even his own. So much happens around him, and yet he remains so apathetic. He is the flattest character I have ever seen. Way too perfect to be real. Even the most perfect seeming people have flaws hidden from others, but Adrien is just a piece of paper. Yeah, he is a sentimonster, and they amped up the controlling father plot, but the consequences of that have made Adrien painfully boring to watch. There's a good way to make it work, and they just did not land with this one. And Felix. Oh, Felix. My only hope for this season was this boy. Why does every character need a love interest? I was so excited to see some senti cousin drama and Felix showing his true colors, but instead, he just became a simp for Kagami. I mean, I get it. Kagami's awesome. But what happened to ambition, my guy? What happened to shaking things up? Did the Adrien curse get to you too? The whole Feligami ship was my biggest letdown this season. I wanted Felix to be more like a 150 IQ anti-hero. Someone who'd finally outsmart Ladybug and actually challenge her. Not because I dislike her. Quite the opposite. I love Marinette. I've loved her since season 1. I have rooted for this girl. So I want her to face a real challenge. To see her pushed to her limits. But instead, she's been left as a Mary Sue, who only interacts with characters who have zero depth. This show could go places. Really, it could. Don't get me wrong, I'm still hyped for season 6, and I'm gonna cover every episode. But season 5 wasted so much potential. Time travel. More and more time travel. Look, a time travel special where they meet someone from the future, fine, cool, interesting. But you're telling me this show's hero sides have the powers of illusion, shield, immobilization, time reverse, teleportation, multiplication, telekinesis, mind manipulation, ability corruption, returnal, universal abilities, anti-power, elemental, as well as freaking time travel. And let's not forget creation and destruction. I was hoping we could just leave the time travel in season 4 and move on and never have it occur again. It's so fun watching battles that I know can just be fixed with time travel. It's like watching the villains fight has no purpose whatsoever because I know the heroes have a get out of jail free card for every single battle. They can just call upon Bunix and it'll be fixed. But you're not supposed to meddle with the time events or timeline or whatever. Who cares? Oh my god. Who cares? They are going to use that ability when it matters most, when the stakes are the highest, when the villain actually has a chance of winning. That's when they're using that ability because that's when they are screwed. And that's the time when you're supposed to be most invested in the fight. But they are ruining it more and more. If only Monarch could have kept the time traveling Miraculous, or it could have been lost somewhere. Maybe a cat could have eaten it. I don't know. I just wish it would disappear for good. When Gabriel didn't abuse this power, I was so disappointed. I mean, it only made us question his intelligence. He could have gotten everything he wanted, but he decided to let his evil desires get in the way. But he's power hungry because he wants to bring back his wife. Okay, so he's a bit of a conflicted villain, I guess. But where did this come from? Where's the build up to this new change in Gabriel? Anyways, let's talk about Miracat. I did like Miracat. It was like a sweet treat in the middle of all the weirdness. If the superhero aspect of Miraculous and the fight scenes were actually good, I would be hyped for those too. But honestly, they're not. So I'm mostly here just to witness Cat Noir's impeccable riz in action. Anyone else? Just kidding, of course. There were other interesting aspects of this season, like Lila. She got the most insane development. I thought she'd just be another school bully, like Chloe, but just smarter. But Chloe can't even compare at this point. Finally, Marinette has met her match. Please, Lila. Please knock Marinette down a notch or two and make her cool like Shadybug. Please, I want my emo Marinette. Give it to me. I'm begging you. I actually enjoyed that special. My only wish is that they wouldn't have made Cat Noir look like that. Unfortunately, it ended in Ladybug preaching her morals to Shadybug, and the two edgy characters turned into a couple of goody two-shoes as well. I love this show. Back to the finale. I liked how it wrapped up Gabriel's reign over Paris. He got his wish, but it cost him his life. I only wish Adrien could have confronted him. We were robbed of some good father-son angst there. Marinette, my cute little blue-haired daughter. They ruined my girl, my Mary Boo. Now she's only annoying, constantly preaching her morals and being a hypocrite. I even made a video defending her, saying her stalking behavior was just a lighthearted exaggeration. But now, after a couple of years of maturing, I see how wrong I was. Her behavior is clearly depicted as stalking and obsession, and without consequences, might I add. Why doesn't Adrien mind this? He hated being idolized. So why would he fall in love with his creepiest fan? What happened to you, Adrien? Where did this yandere fetish come from? The charm of Adrienette was witnessing an obsessed girl stuck in the friend zone, while her crush clearly only saw her as his classmate. It was like a fan ex-celebrity dynamic, with the girl being obsessed with the boy and the boy being annoyed by the girl, but eventually her seeing past the glitz and glam, realizing he isn't as perfect as she imagined, and starting to genuinely fall in love with the real him, while the guy starts seeing something special in his most dedicated fan, whom he in the past found no interest in. But here in Miraculous, Marinette just gets her dream handed to her after being a creep. And Adrien is reduced to a simping puppet with no form of opinions whatsoever. And I swear to God, do not blame this on Adrien's Sentimonster plot. You mean to tell me Adrien is reduced to have no judgment, interests, emotions, or opinions because of this ring? I guess our dear Adrien, a character we have witnessed through 5 seasons, was simply meant to have the depth of an Oreo from day one. Yeah, great character. Love the writing. It's like they just threw in a third-rate fan theory and built an arc around it to excuse their poor writing. Felix was probably never supposed to appear either. They just decided to make him a character for some reason. And it was okay until I saw how he turned out. The dude turned into a massive simp as well. Is it just me? Am I the bad guy for not relating to these characters anymore? For judging these boys for having no other purpose than to be boyfriend material? Tell me what you think in the comments. And as always, till next time.